This movie will focus on one thing, that is how to properly save your projects. It is essential to make sure that you understand the save process because it is very easy to be confused when you're trying to save and then to retrieve and to eventually edit a program. As you can see, I have a sample program that's sole purpose is to be a demonstration to save a project. Once you have your project that's ready to be saved, the first time you save the project will be different than all subsequent times you save the project. That is, when you're ready to save the project, the best advice is to click File and then choose Save All. By choosing Save All, then you're forcing all of your files and all support files that accompany even a simple project such as this one, so that they're all located in one folder. By clicking Save All, I'm then presented with a Save Project dialog box. Here is where you want to make sure you're naming your project properly, and even more important than that, as to the location of the project. As you can see, I have named this Sample 1, and I could choose the Browse button and go to a different location, but I have set my default location to be on my hard drive in a folder called VTC VB2008, and then in a subfolder called VB2008 Demo and Work Files. You'll also notice that by default the checkbox that says Create Directory for Solution is checked. My suggestion is to leave that checked. This will force a folder to be created for your project under the name of your project. That is, a folder called Sample 1 will be created with the project Sample 1 contained in the project, along with all the other files and subfolders that get created automatically in the Visual Basic environment. So once I'm ready to do that, I simply click Save, and after a moment the project is saved. I will now navigate to where I have this saved so you can see the various files that have now been saved for this very simple project. As you can see, I've now navigated my computer system to the location of my Sample 1 file, which is on my hard drive in a folder called VTC VB2008. Among two other folders, there is this folder called Sample 1. If I open Sample 1 folder, I then see that there's another folder called Sample 1 and the solution that is the SLN file of Visual Basic in the Visual Studio 2008 environment. You will note that the solution file is the only file that you really want to directly interact with. That is, if I needed to go back and modify this program, I could simply double click on the solution file and that would be fine. However, the folder named Sample 1 contains many other support files, and as you can see, many other folders. The temptation to experiment with these other files and folders should be resisted. That is, by moving or modifying these files and folders could very easily make your project inaccessible. These files and folders are not created by you, but rather created by the Visual Studio and the .NET Framework environment automatically. The one folder we will eventually talk about is the bin folder. We will do that in a later movie. But for now, whenever you have a project saved and you wish to return to that project, you simply can go to the location where you have that folder. You should see as an external separate file from the folder at the Visual Studio solution file. You'll recognize it by having the SLN extension. Double click and that should automatically launch that project back into the Visual Studio 2008 environment. Now once you do that, you may see a gray screen like you see right now. Simply click View, Solution Explorer, and then double click on Form 1 and your project will then be visible. We will discuss how to further enhance this project in a later movie.